Okay, we'll go ahead and get started with our evening so we can get you in and get you the information that you need to plan your junior year of high school, which is really exciting to hear and think about and see, because you are, when I first started at Central Cass, you were in 7th grade. So it's been really cool to see you grow up and go through high school. So I'm excited for your junior year because there's a lot of options for you. So we'll go through them. So if you have questions, make sure to ask. I'm going to record this presentation so that we have a chance to, if you want to go back and look at it again, you can. Okay? Okay. All right. My name is Mrs. Ziegelman. I'm the high school counselor for grades 9 through 12 at Central Cass. I work with all students in many, many different areas in their academic planning for high school, your career planning for after high school, social emotional learning, and well-being as well. So really I cover it all. Tonight is specifically for registration, but we're going to have a lot of information about classes offered at Central Cass, and different opportunities you can have by, or take advantage of by taking specific classes your junior and senior year. So I always like to say begin with the end in mind. So when you're starting your junior year, what can you start and how can you start so that you're ending and graduating where you want to be and being most ready for it, okay? So be thinking, do I want to go into a 2-year school or college? Do I want to go into a training program? Do I want to go into the military? Do I want to go into the world of work and the workforce right away? Do I want to go to 4-year college? Those are all wonderful options, but you've got to find the one that's the best fit for you. And we'll talk about those too. Okay, so the goal tonight is help you guys plan your future and have you leave here tonight excited to register for classes next year. You have your high school transcript with you. That is record of your first 3 semesters of high school. Your 4th one is not yet on there. That's this semester because the grades have not been stored. They are final on that last day of school, and then I store the grades, finalize them, and that's when the credit shows up on your transcript. So these grades are changing. The quarter ends next Friday. So even with that quarter ending, that is not the grade that goes on your transcript. It is your semester grade, which factors in your quarter 3 and quarter 4, and then your final exam. Okay, so our website has a lot of information on it. One place that's going to come up for you guys as you get older is the scholarship website, and I'm working to redevelop it into a school counseling type website, so it's a little more comprehensive, but I'll show you where it's at, so if you wanted to access it, you could. On this page, we have different scholarships notifications. I have my senior newsletter on there from the beginning of the year that I share with all the seniors and families. This is where I post things about financial aid night, college application month, the FAFSA completion night we're hopefully having next year, and then as well as opportunities like the ASVAB, the preliminary SAT. So as juniors, you can choose to take the preliminary SAT, the PSAT, which some of you did. The only reason you'd want to take that is if you're planning to take advanced placement classes or AP classes. If you're planning to take the SAT, which is a test for college aptitude to get into colleges, more typically on the eastern coast. Midwestern typically uses ACT. ASVAB, the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery test, is next fall. We give it to all juniors. It's a test that measures different skills, like your mechanical knowledge, tools, all of those different things that we don't generally assess with something like the ACT. But that would be what you want to take if you're considering a military path. So it's something we have all students do, and then we have a career interpretation session to find out what your scores mean for you, okay? So those are all things that are coming up junior year that are pretty exciting. Typically, juniors I take to a college fair, college and a career fair in the fall. Last fall was all virtual online. And I think sophomores, you participated in that too, a career discovery event, maybe not. You were supposed to do it in your squirrel time last fall, but maybe you didn't get a chance. But juniors and seniors did. Okay, I also have a Remind app set up links to sign up for that. I'm really heavy on the seniors with using it for senior scholarships. I typically send out reminders like, hey, here's a $500 scholarship if you're going to NDSCS for construction. And then as a quick reminder, here is the Castleton Business Association scholarship. Read and see if you qualify. So it's something that comes right to your phone or to your email, however you want to sign it up. But for seniors, that's helpful. Dollars for Scholars application is due in 2 weeks. Are you finished? Just little reminders like that that are completely optional for families to do. If you need a transcript sent for any reason, insurance purposes, employment verification, this is how you would do that, is you fill out a very short form and it sends an email to me and then I take care of it. So any Central Cass graduate can do that. As you get into your senior year, this is going to be a button you're clicking pretty frequently when we go through college applications and whatnot and scholarship applications. Don't worry, all of this stuff I go back over with you as juniors and seniors again too. So if you feel like some of it's just in one ear, out the other, that's fine. We're going to go back through it too. Okay. Here's where we're going to work out of primarily tonight. It's in that academics tab too, and courses and registration. I'll show you all the links to the information. In the past, we've had paper copies and we've had a paper registration sheet. We've gone away from all of that, especially in times of social distancing, COVID, and whatnot. So everything's available as a PDF online and you can download it and I'll show you where to get it. Even pieces of our presentation, credit requirements are all there too. So I'll show you where those are at. And this is time, so it just keeps moving for me. Okay. Yes. Next. This is going to be when you look at your course offerings book. There are some really key pieces of information to look at. A lot of times I have students come into my office and say, well, I want to take psychology. Sorry, that's a junior, senior level class. You're not able to register for that yet. And we just typically do that because of some of the, to offer it to specific grade levels, for class sizes and whatnot, for different content and curriculums. But here are some examples of things that you need to pay attention to. So I'll show you the course descriptions guide. For example, Nutrition and Foods 2 is offered odd years. You're going to notice this in your book, and that's why this is helpful to be thinking about what classes you want to take junior and senior year, because you won't have the chance to take some of these again. So pay attention to the language that's in the course book. So if you wanted to take Foods 2 next fall, you could, because it's offered in odd years. An odd year is the year you start your academic school year. So this fall is 2021, an odd year. So it's odd year for course registration. It's 1/2 credit, length is 1 semester, and students grades 9 through 12 can take this class. Okay, and then it gives you another description. Pay attention to your prerequisites because you can't take Foods 2 unless you've taken Foods 1. You have to register for Foods 1. Now, if it's in the same year, we offer Foods 1 every year. So if you have Foods 1 on your schedule and you take Foods 2, chances are it'll be one semester or the other. That'll be fine. Just really pay attention to your prerequisites so you're not missing out on some classes that you'd want to take. Nutrition and Fitness offered even years, so we will not offer Nutrition and Fitness this year. Mrs. Ramesh will not be teaching it. She will teach it when you guys are seniors. This is important, especially for you as you get closer and closer to planning your graduation and taking different classes for different purposes as we go. So really pay attention to these type of offerings and the descriptions at the top. They'll be very helpful for you in the end. And prerequisites are classes required before you take the class. Pre-required, okay? Juniors, seniors, because our agriculture program is still developing and growing, you get the opportunity to have some of the prerequisites or required classes waived. And that was a decision on part of our administration and our agriculture department as we're still working to grow and develop that program the past couple of years. So the changes to the agri-science classes and locations are still being adjusted in the next 2 months. So pay attention to announcements and updates, okay? Health science, this is really exciting. So any of you people deciding or thinking about health science careers, we are offering a health science class at Central Cass next year. We saw it as kind of a gap or a missing link to our students that want to go into the field of nursing or some of those other health science, occupational therapy, physical therapy classes. So it's going to be offered as an option. Another side note, I know some of you take advantage of this. Band and choir you can take at the same time, but you just don't earn a whole credit for those classes. So what I mean is, if you wanted to be in band, register for band, but then you're gonna have to come next fall and say, Mrs. Engelman, can you add choir to my schedule? Yep, I can do that. So it'll show as you double up. But then instead of getting a half credit for that semester for band, you'll get 1/4 credit. So some of you have that on your transcript where it says 0.25. Do you see it? I know there's a couple of you that have done choir and band. Thinking Cassie is one of them. Yep, so 0.25. So band and choir, that 0.25 adds to half credit. Okay? And that's because you can't double dip. Like you are only one person. You can't be in two places at once. So if you want that on your schedule, you just come and talk. Come and see me. Computer science classes are going to be specifically offered online this year through the Cass County Career and Technical Education Consortium. That is a collaborative partnership we have with West Fargo, Northern Cass is part of it as well, where students can take classes through different schools. We have some students from Fargo that take agriculture classes through Central Cass, virtually online. And we've sent quite a number of students to do welding classes in Fargo, diesel technician classes, aviation classes. So now that you're moving into your junior year, lots of stuff is opening up for you guys, which is really, really exciting. So computer science is one of those. Dual credit classes, junior year, this is going to be a bigger option for a lot of you. They require registration at the college that the credit's through and at Central Cass. So what you're going to do if you want a dual credit class, you'll register on PowerSchool for it, but then Mrs. Wixel will come to you in April and May with information on how to apply to Valley City State, for example, because you have to be a student at Valley City in order to do the dual credit class. So you'll have to register again, pay the application fee for the college at that time, and get lined up for being registered as a college student, which starts the start of your college transcript, the dual credit. So high school and college at the same time. So it's a good way to maximize your credits. Okay. All right, so which path are you leaning towards? All paths are fantastic. If I could put a plug for, all paths are great. Whichever one you're on, there's nothing wrong with it. The biggest ticket to being on the path you want is by earning your high school diploma and graduating with a high school diploma. So you guys are on track for that, and I'm really excited for you. So thinking about your next 2 years of high school, are you wanting to do dual credit classes? Or do you see yourself going to a 2-year or 4-year school? Then you probably want to start taking some dual credit classes in your junior and senior year. If you're thinking a 2-year school, like public speaking, English, dual credit English 110, dual credit public speaking are classes that are pretty typical requirements at even a 2-year school or college. So those are good things to think about. If you're wanting to go right into a career path, I would recommend taking career and tech ed classes. A lot of those, they really work to develop specific skill sets and experiences specific to the agriculture industry or the health sciences industry, computer science. But doing those classes is really going to help you develop and hone in on your interests and skills. And then if you're thinking military, same thing, I would say involved in a lot of career and tech ed classes. Again, because a lot of the hands-on piece of the CTE is fantastic. Okay, so here are your graduation requirements. The only one that needs to be updated, oh no, I did update it on this one. Online it needs to be updated. But you have successfully, if you look at your transcript, your freshman year, you have a full year of English, broken down by semesters. So full year of physical science, half of world geography, half of health. Your sophomore year, this year you should have sophomore English, biology, world history. And then your math is going to be your choice. So whatever path for math you picked is fine. You need to get to 3 credits for graduation. They can be any 3 math credits. Pre-algebra, algebra, geometry. Pre-algebra, algebra, consumer math. Okay? There's no wrong way to get to that 3. It just depends if you want to go to a 4-year college or 2-year college afterwards, which math that you take. Phy-Ed, this is a sneaky little one that is plaguing some of the seniors right now, that they've got to take a full credit of Phy-Ed their senior year, and they're like, I'm going to miss out on some of these really cool classes I could take. Check right now and see if you have or on track with at least 1 semester of Phy-Ed. You need a full credit of Phy-Ed, 2 semesters total. Don't let that be the reason you don't get a class you want later on. There are options, and the announcements will come this spring, to take summer weights, and that works as a Phy-Ed credit. The 0-hour weights will also be an option, but it's not on, you can't register for it. Through PowerSchool, you have to register through sign up, good old fashioned sign up. Science, this is the first year where you get to pick your science elective. Again, be thinking about what kind of training you want after high school. Are you wanting to go 4-year and consider chemistry and a physics your senior year? Are you wanting to go 2-year? Well, then maybe environmental science is a better fit for you. Are you going health science? Anatomy, physiology would be a good fit for you. So this is a cool opportunity for you. You get a chance to really pick. Forensics is a science class that's offered 1 semester, but then you have to find another semester of a science class to match that if you want to use that for your science credit, or you can just take forensics as an elective. So I have some people that are going into a career in law enforcement that they decided to take forensics this year as, because there's a really good investigative piece to forensics class, okay? All of this again is in the course description, so really read those. That's going to give you a wealth of information to help you really develop some of your interests this year. Then senior year is when you can opt to pick, well, even junior year too. Spring of junior year, you can opt to do dual credit English 110, which is a college level class, or English 11B, 2nd semester. Either one's fine, but it just depends if you meet the requirements, and I'll walk you through that too. Senior year, same thing, you can do English 12 or dual credit classes, or a combination of both, okay? Something really awesome that our social studies department has started offering is the option for advanced placement government and advanced placement economics. And I'll tell you what AP is too, but you can choose to do economics with the standard North Dakota curriculum, or you can choose to do advanced placement and potentially earn college credit for it, okay? If this feels like kind of overload, that's okay. I'll walk you through it again, and I'm going to record this so that you have it as a resource that you can look at as well. And then my last one that's required senior year is consumer resource management, which I fondly refer to as Adulting 101. It's Mrs. Grumish's semester-long class where she teaches you all about finances, budgeting, insurance, taxes, resumes, career searching, college application processes, all that stuff, which is really important, okay? So the magic number at the end is 22 credits for graduation. We require all students to take 6 credits every year, so you should end with 24 credits graduation if you just do 6 credits all year long, 2 study halls all year. You will graduate 24, which is more than you need, more than enough, okay? So really think how you can maximize that time. If for some reason you need to retake a class, I have some summer school options. You just have to see me about that, or I'll be emailing some students and families about it too. Okay, so what is the difference between dual credit and advanced placement? Both classes earn you a high school credit for graduation in those areas, right? Which is fantastic. Students in dual credit classes and considered off-campus students at Valley City State or NDSCS. It's the start of your college transcript. Whereas AP, there's no university that it's affiliated with. It's through the College Board, which is which is a service that provides the SAT test, the PSAT or preliminary SAT. It's standardized across the United States. Therefore, it's widely and nationally accepted as college credit. Our teachers that teach those classes have all gone through specific training, the same training that teachers at in Florida would have. So that's how it's why they accept it, because it's very standardized. Dual credit classes, those teachers are also very highly trained and have master's level degrees that they're teaching at the college level. The credits are typically, they transfer within the state of North Dakota really well. Out of state, you may not get credit exactly for what you're considering. So if you're considering an out-of-state college, advanced placement classes really would be a great option. Dual credit are good too, but you're going to need to save your syllabus so you can check to see if you can earn credit through the registrar. And I can walk you through that if you have more questions. Credit, in dual credit, after you successfully complete the semester and pass the class, you earn the credit and you have to pay for the class as well. Advanced placement credit is earned by examination. So you take the class for free all semester, and in the spring of that year, you take the advanced placement exam here at Central Cass. Myself or Mrs. Wixel administer that exam. And then when you get a score of 3 on the exam, you earn the credit for the class. So, and it's only typically about $85. So it's much more cost effective that way, but it's dependent on that passing score or qualifying score. Whereas dual credit can cost $75 to $220 per credit. And typically our dual credit classes are 3 credit classes, okay? If your family wants dual credit as an option, but cost is a factor, I do have a dual credit assistance program through Bank of North Dakota that you would sign up through me. It's just me and your family working together, and I sign off on it, and then I submit the paperwork to Bank of North Dakota. And then they help cover some of the costs. So if that's you or your students, please let me know. These resources are out there for you, so we can, and for students as well. Prerequisites, you this spring will take something called an AccuPlacer. Yeah, you guys are sophomores, so this spring you'll take the AccuPlacer to see if you want to go into some of the dual credit math classes that we have, or dual credit English, and you need a specific score on it. If you don't get it, you can retake it. There is some cost associated. I think it was $10 per test last fall. But we do that again at Central Cass. I manage that and work with Valley City State to get those tests administered to students. Those requirements are all part of the North Dakota University system, and they're standard for all students in North Dakota. Advanced placement classes, you need a certain content GPA. So in social studies, you would need like a specific 3.0. That's all in the course descriptions guide too, okay? So if you want to get into dual credit class, you have to, for example, have a B average in English to be considered to be ready for that level of English. Because remember, it is a college level class. So if you do not take these classes, that is completely fine. These are college level classes and not made for everyone. If you choose not to do them in high school, that is completely fine. I would rather you wait and take them once you are in college and maybe more ready academically, because you don't want a C or a D on your college transcript because maybe you weren't ready for that level of writing or that level of math. So just because a friend is taking it doesn't mean it might be the right fit for you. It's a cool opportunity, but don't take it if you don't feel you're ready. And parents, don't be afraid to tell your kids, I don't think you're quite ready yet. Let's wait till senior year. Let's wait till you're a freshman in college. Those are fine things too. It's just a way that if you feel ready or you know your learner's ready, you can have them do that. Okay. All right. This is our rubric, and it's different than what's online. I updated it last August. Our online one didn't I haven't updated that one yet. This walks us through what our Central Cass diploma requirements are compared to the North Dakota diploma. Both are 22 credits, just a little different how we get there. The North Dakota State Scholarship, academic and CTE. I'll have you look at your transcripts and help you kind of walk through how to qualify for this and tell you why. North Dakota University entrance requirements. I know it's really kind of small. But this is for a 4-year college. And if you don't want to go, if you don't qualify to get into a 4-year right away, you can do a 2-year transfer pass, or you can stick with a 2-year and have nearly 100% job placement, which we'll talk about too. These last two are Division I and Division II college requirements. So how many credits you need if you plan or intend to be a college athlete, okay? So if that's you, I'm more than happy to help talk you through it. You just have to ask, and you just have to let me know, okay? All right, so 22, both requirements at Central Cass and North Dakota. We just we require a few more classes, the Consumer Resource Management and Extra Phy Ed, World Geography, just because that's the curriculum we want to expose all of our students to. And that's a Central Cass local decision. The North Dakota Academic and CTE Scholarship, I'll show you a book online, but I haven't worried about it terribly much with freshman, sophomore year. Where I really dig in with kids is junior, senior year. The biggest thing freshman, sophomore is to work to get a 3.0 grade point average overall, to have A, B's, and C's in all of your classes, and to be planning to take Algebra 2 in this scholarship. The North Dakota Academic and Career Tech Ed Scholarship was created, I think it was like 2009, because our legislature saw a lot of students leaving the state, a lot of really strong students leaving the state, going to colleges elsewhere, and then making gainful employment in those communities, which is typically what happens. And they weren't coming back to North Dakota. So North Dakota legislature allocated money that every student in the state of North Dakota can qualify for this scholarship if they meet these certain requirements. So all students are eligible. There's just some big indicators as to if you qualify for it and get it your senior year when you graduate. I think I have some of these brochures. They're just flat up there. You can grab them if you want. It's also online. I'll show you where that's at. So the big thing, if you haven't taken Algebra 2 and you want to qualify for this, plan to take Algebra 2. The academic side of the scholarship is you need to take Algebra 2 and 1 math above Algebra 2. So that's your dual credit math for a year, pre-calculus, advanced or AP calculus. We're offering a statistics class this year too, or I'm not, but the math department is. You need your sciences, social studies again. You need either 1 credit from a fine arts, like a band or an art fundamentals, foreign language, or career and tech ed, 2 credits from a coordinated plan of study, or from a foreign language. Coordinated plan of study is a CTE option. You need 1 Phy Ed, and you need a half credit of an AP or dual credit class, an exam. And here's your CTE. You can do a plan of study or the foreign language. And then 5 electives for a total of 22, 3.0 GPA, and then you need a 24 on your ACT for your composite. So that's where it really is cumulative. It's like a scholarship that every year you're doing little things to meet those requirements. The career and tech ed side, it's the same scholarship, 2 different ways to qualify. The difference is here is you don't have to take, for Pete's sake, you don't have to take a career and tech ed. I don't know why you don't want to go for me. There you go. You don't have to take a foreign language for the career and tech ed side, and you don't have to take a math higher than Algebra 2. So if Algebra 2, you're like, that's it, that's where I want to be, okay, we're going to go career and tech ed side, but you do have to plan on taking more career and tech ed classes. Actually, you have to plan to take at least 4 credits of career and tech ed classes. 2 of those credits can be any career and tech ed classes that you pick, just electives, and then 2 have to be from a specific plan of study. And a plan of study is just a specific group of classes with a specific skill building set. So foods 1, foods 2, nutrition and fitness, and consumer resource management would be like a plan of study. Construction trades 1, construction trades 2, a plan of study, because they have specific skills that they're going for. Don't worry, you come your junior year, I pretty much walk you through it. I'm pretty excited. We're on track to have almost 50% of our seniors qualify for this scholarship this year. And next year could be even higher. They all listen to me. But the biggest thing is that Algebra 2, A, B, and C grades, retake the class if you don't need it, and then Math 3.0. So some seniors aren't quite there their senior year, but they work to get there, and they can. if they go in mindfully about it. Okay, North Dakota University System, kind of the same thing. If you don't qualify to get into the 4-year programs, you can definitely do a 2-year transfer. NDSCS in Wahpeton has many excellent pathway programs for liberal arts, construction, all sorts of things that transfer directly to NDSU. Same thing in Moorhead. The MNCTC has the same type of thing that transfers directly into MSU too. So 2-year program pathways are great options. 2-year programs themselves are great options. NDSCS has excellent placement rates where they are graduating people in these fields, and the industry is coming and actively looking for their graduates, and they have jobs lined up before they go. So I've been talking to a lot of seniors, for example, of one that wants to go into construction, and really challenging them to weigh the options of what a 2-year program versus a 4-year program would look like for them, and weigh those two. So always begin with the end in mind. Potentially it can save you a lot of time and money later on, okay? And to get a job right out of college is pretty cool, or maybe even out of high school with a training certificate too. All right, so you know what classes you want, now what, okay? So I hope you're excited, because congratulations, online registration opens today. So you can go home tonight and sit down with your family, or you can save it for tomorrow night or a fun weekend activity if you want, and register for your Power School. But I would recommend that you guys have some conversations on your way home about it too. You need your Power School login. I have it if you don't. You need to have 6 credits if you want 2 study halls, 7 if you want no study halls. And make sure you get your request in before March 22nd, okay? Here's what it looks like in Power School. You're gonna log your student. I need you to log out of your Power School and then log back in to make sure it updates. If you've been logged into your Power School for over a week, which sometimes I'm kind of guilty of too, I'm just running 50 tabs at the top of my screen. Log out, log back in, okay? And then go to class registration. The classes that are required for you are automatically already populated and filled in, so you can't get out of US history. It's just gonna be there for you. And it'll have a green check mark for you. Classes or areas that need attention have a red exclamation point, and then you can click the pencil to edit. Half-year electives and full-year electives are down here. They're different and in different categories. So if you're looking for art fundamentals or construction trades, those are full year. Use your course registration book to help you find that information. Last categories are optional. 0-hour waits is not on this registration, but there is a waits option for during the school day if you wanted that for your Phi-Ed. Ignore the credit count at the bottom. It's not correct. So use your good old-fashioned paper pencil skills. For some reason, it's not adding things up correctly. It's even including study halls as having credit. Study halls do not have credit. It'll say 0.5 on your study halls, but that's just Power School trying to populate in and schedule it in. Okay, 9th and 10th grade, don't forget to add alternate classes. I would encourage you guys to do the same. Now that you're juniors, you are on a priority basis with the seniors. So those classes that fill up, you'll get first dibs on. Our classes are full at 25. And then we spill kids over to alternatives, but you guys are juniors on your way to seniors, and you don't have to worry about that so much. One thing to keep in mind is, I probably said that 50 times, so like your 50th thing to keep in mind. We need to have at least 5 students in a class in order to offer it, and that's to do with teacher contracts. So if for some reason it drops down to 4, we have to have permission from Mrs. Wixel and Mr. Fornes to drop, and even Mr. Fornes to drop the class, because it can goof with teacher contracts. So when we can have a teacher teach 25 kids versus 5 kids, I mean, that's part of the trade-off. So some of those specific classes, like a veterinary science we offered 2 years ago, only had a few kids in it. We're really looking, your teachers are really looking and working to build those programs. And you should applaud your teachers. These course descriptions are fantastic. Your Central Cass teachers and educators and administration have gone above and beyond what most schools this size are able to do in developing meaningful class options, alternating years. It's fantastic. It's really amazing the things that you guys have at Central Cass that weren't here just even a few years ago when I came. So applaud your teachers. And they're excited. I bet a lot of your teachers are talking to you about your classes. They're excited to offer some of these new ones too. So, okay. If you have questions, don't be afraid to stop by. I'm going to show you, email myself or Mrs. Wixel. Both of us are here to help. We both change schedules. And we're more than happy to help with any questions that you might have. Something that I've been working with the juniors currently to do is we talk about thinking about the programs and plans of study when you're looking at picking out your classes. So I will go online with them and I'll have them scroll. Well, where is it now? Okay, it's not showing up how I want it to. Here it is. We'll look at academics on any of the university pages, and we can go to majors, and we can, oh, it's not very happy with me. Okay, we can go to academic majors. It should be major and minors. Oop, that's not very pretty. Okay, academics. What am I showing? There it is, majors and programs. Alphabetical list of majors. So this is just for example, nothing with NDSU specifically, but maybe I have a student that wants to major in accounting, okay? We start looking at these things now because you can look to see maybe what classes you can take in high school. If you're thinking of an accounting major currently in high school, you should be signed up for Mrs. Hoffman's Accounting 1 class, okay? Because that gives you great foundational skills. But you can also look to see maybe what are some dual credit classes you could take. And then I see freshman year, there are some options like an English 110 or a public speaking class. Some of the things that you could take as a dual credit class. So I'm talking to the juniors about this, but I thought I'd just mention it to you guys because it's a potential option for you going into your junior, senior year. But don't be afraid to go look at the college websites and look at the programs that they offer and some of the classes they need to help you pick out some of the classes maybe you want. Architecture, if you're thinking architecture, art classes are fantastic. Join Mrs. Cruft's, we had a student take a sculpture class their senior year, along with a slew of math classes. We were able to find, for an accounting major, we were able to find a dual credit class through NDSCS that not a lot of kids took, so they could get that out of the way. So don't be afraid to ask and look and use your resources to help you plan some of these things too. And don't be overwhelmed if you're not at that point either. But those are things that are out there, and I'm more than happy to help you with. Okay, so Central Cass website. Let's see. You're going to go to departments in the academics tab. Here's the transcript. But where you're going to spend your time is courses and registration. We have graduation requirements. That's the sheet that we went through before. POD is wrong. Don't pay attention to that one. We have our rubric for your college and scholarship requirements. We have course descriptions, which is what you guys should go home and be flipping through excitedly all night long. I hope I said this to the last group and it's pretty dorky, but I got the Gurney's seed catalog in the mail the other day, and I think I just sit on the couch and flip through, just hoping of spring and gardening and all the things. So this, I hope you're as excited about this as I am about gardening. Read the descriptions, find things that you are interested in and want to do. This is a great book. For you guys, juniors and seniors, if you go down to trade and tech, you're going to find classes like aviation, welding, diesel tech classes that are offered in cooperation with Fargo schools. And then they have a lot of students take ag classes out here too. Okay. What else? And then this is our, my PowerPoint is right here with the registration meeting. So if you need anything from that, it's right on the website. I'm going to record this and put it on a YouTube video. And if you want, I'm going to send it out to people that aren't here, but if you want it, you're welcome to it. This course catalog is specific to kind of the Career and Tech Ed scholarship. Okay, so it walks you through and gives you information as well as coordinated plans of study. So when I was talking about like a specific path of Career and Tech Ed classes, this plans it out for you. Like I should be taking this and this, I should be taking botany and a supervised ag experience, okay? It goes through all of them. The only one that's not on here is health science because we don't have that developed specifically, but this is a way you can do that. So I want you to take a look at your transcript really quick and look for some of your CTE classes. They're also in this booklet. And just maybe think about, do I have a lot of accounting type classes, businesses classes, marketing classes, Mrs. Grumish classes? You can kind of group by teacher. And is this how I want to qualify for that scholarship? Okay. If you are having trouble with it and you want some help, I'm more than happy to go through it with you, myself or Mrs. Wixel at any time. Juniors, I'm sitting down with them now and we're really looking more in depth about these things. Okay. All right, so this is a good one. I would definitely utilize this in planning how to plan a study and going for that scholarship. Okay. So with that, I don't have a whole lot of other things. I could probably fill time forever and ever and ever. Do you have any questions about anything at all? If you do, you are welcome to email myself or Mrs. Wixel with questions, and we're more than happy to help. March 22nd is when you should get registration in, so you are free to go home and you can start the registration process, or you can wait, but March 22nd is when your deadline is. Okay, if you have questions, please come up and ask away. Thank you for coming, virtually or in person.